Yo, what's up, everybody? First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been jamming the new tape. It's something that I worked on for about 3 years. So to finally have these songs not just sitting on my phone, but out in the world connecting with people has been, just awesome to see. So just want to say appreciate everybody that's been jamming it. But what I want to do in this series is I just want to take you behind all 10 of the tracks on the new tape, kind of contextualize them a little bit, give you a little bit of information about where I was at when I wrote them, any little tidbits about the recording process, anything of that nature. So if you haven't heard the songs, go listen to them, then come back here, and maybe you'll learn something that you find interesting about one of your favorite tracks on there. So there's no better place to start it off than one of my absolute favorites on the tape. One that really kind of gave me the vision for where I was trying to take the direction of the whole project. And that's the first track on there, the title track, Nowhere Soon. Nowhere Soon is a song that really means a lot to me. Obviously, like I said, I named, the tape after it, but Nowhere Soon is one that I just can vividly remember where I was at when I wrote it. I wrote that in about spring of 22, maybe, so around there, maybe 23. And I was sitting in the bedroom oh no, it would have been 22, but I was sitting in the bedroom of one of my college houses there, and it was like a vibey, like spring kind of evening, and that first line that's in the song, looking out my window and ask myself why, that window right here is just burned in my memory of when I was writing that song. But really, Nowhere Soon for me was just a statement to myself of continuing to keep on, really, because where I was at working on this whole project was, a really transitional phase of my life, going from college, going to kind of the real world, and things are changing. People are moving away, people are settling down, people are just taking different paths, and I was really kind of wrestling with myself about the direction that I was going and wondering, am I on the right path? Am I doing what I need to be doing? And having those doubts about if I can continue to keep on. And Nowhere Soon was really just a statement to myself of saying, like, nah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna still keep doing my thing until I get where I'm trying to go. And when I wrote the song, that title, Nowhere Soon, just really stuck out, at a different level to me. And I was like, oh, like a light bulb went off, and I was like, I see what I want to do on this project now. Because I wrote that before I even really knew that I was writing it for a tape. I was kind of just, I just wrote a song. But there's some lines in that song that just really connect with me. In the first verse, I say that it's been a long way since the tape was a blank disc. It ain't quite the same as them days in my basement. And like I said, this transitional phase that I was at while making this music, I was really, kind of analyzing and just taking note of, growing up, really going from a more adolescent stage in my life into adulthood and everything that comes with that. And those lines about, it's not quite the same when I first started, making music or just kind of becoming aware of the world around me. It used to seem so simple and carefree in a way. And then you get a little older, you get more responsibilities, everything of that nature, and you start just noticing the way that the winds change. And when it comes to music specifically, I wrote that line thinking about, like, damn, those days in my basement where I was just having fun, speaking into this microphone and hearing myself back, not thinking about how many streams am I going to do, how many people are going to be hearing this song. It was just for myself, just having fun, experimenting with art. And that is kind of, for me, a metaphor for just life in general. It's not quite the same as those earliest, purest moments as you get older, and you don't want to lose that sense of excitement about what it is that you're passionate about as you continue to go through life. Um, and That kind of ties into another line that sticks out for me a lot. One from the second verse where I say, "I got to see the end when I'm feeling like I'm finished," and that was me saying like I got to remember those types of feelings, those types of moments when I'm feeling like I can't continue, I can't go on. I got to remember why I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it is because I love it. Is because the creation aspect of making music and pursuing something that you're passionate about. So on those days where you feel like I can't go on, or it's getting too much for me to to keep chipping away at this, it's like, but I remember why I started in the first place. And I think that for a lot of people, it's really easy to lose sight of your goal and get caught up in the pursuit of it and forget about like why you're actually doing this. Because if you remember why you initially started, I think it's a lot easier to keep going because it's pure what you're chasing after. So um, that line for me just I really like that line. But that's really kind of what the song itself just encapsulates for me, is just you know staying in touch with why I'm doing this, why I'm going after what I'm going after, and no matter what's going on, I'ma still be here. I'm not going nowhere soon. I'ma still be around no matter what life's thrown at me. I'ma still be making tunes. I'ma make these jams and one day get to where I'm trying to go. So yeah, song that really means a lot to me. Obviously inspired the whole project in its own way, and that's nowhere soon. So the next song I gotta talk about is a song that is potentially my absolute favorite song on the entire project. One that ever since I wrote it, I just been gassed. Couldn't wait to share it with people. I didn't show it to almost anybody before the project came out because I wanted it to just be a surprise for all my friends and everything that I knew would probably enjoy it as much as I did. But that's a song called "Somewhere," the second tape on the project. "Somewhere" is just it's a song that is just so rooted in my personal life, like all these songs are, of course. But it connects with me on just such a deeper level than just it being a dope song. "Somewhere" was born out of a conversation that I had with one of my best friends, and he was just talking about, man, like it feels like man, I'm just I'm going to the same job every day and doing the same thing and just boring stuff, and like there's got to be more than this. Like this is it. And I'd been feeling like those same sentiments myself for a while, but that conversation was like the spark for me to be like, oh, I gotta write this song. Um, I just with that finally gave me the state of mind to channel it into a record. And so like the next day, I wrote that song super quick. And at the time that I was writing the song, I was really diving into the Beatles. I was really jamming a lot of Beatles stuff. And so when I wrote the hook, the "somewhere out nowhere out there," for whatever reason, that just made me think of the Beatles in some way. Maybe it's just me, but to me, I was just like, this sounds like something the Beatles would say. So I was really vibing with that. But it ties back in the song itself to what I was talking about in the previous song, is just that transition stage of life where you're going from where things were a bit more simplified, a bit more carefree, fun per se, and you get into this real world where you gotta try to find your moments of joy in what appears to maybe be a somewhat boring reality. And And somewhere was just my way of expressing my frustration with like, this is it. There's nothing else to life than just going to a job, getting paid, going home, and then doing it all again the day after the day after the day after. But I think it's easy to really just get caught up in, you know, your routine and lose sight of trying to find the stuff that brings you life outside of just, you know, your normal responsibilities. And that kind of is connected to a line that I like in the second verse where I say, um, you know, I remember when we had big machinations. Now we bog down in the same occupations. It's like I I've been seeing too many people over the last, you know, however many years here that I just, you know, you can tell have lost like a little bit of a twinkle in their eye. Just like, damn man, like we used to always sit around and talk about like what we were gonna one day do, what we are gonna accomplish, where we are gonna go. And now we're just kind of accepting like, this is it. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do to survive and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's more so just the mindset of being like completely shut off from striving from going after the things that you really want and you really can achieve. And we kind of get caught up in being like, well, it's probably not possible. I probably can't do that. I probably can't get to here. And it's more acceptable to just to do this and to just go this path. And for me, that's just one of the most disheartening things there is someone that's just gave up on their dreams basically by their own volition. Like they just decided like, I'll just accept this. And that is something that was really, you know, sad to me while I was making this project, is just looking at whether it was people I knew or just people I'd come across, and you could just kind of tell like, damn, I know you're not doing what you want to do and you're not really, you know, making an effort to go after it. And that's sad, man, because like you can go after something that you want to do and make it happen. Um, and so somewhere was just a song for me that I was really kind of venting about all those types of feelings, and just kind of longing for the days where it used to be all about, you know, big dreams and fresh excitement every day of not knowing what the future holds, and, you know, just in a way wishing that I could go back to that. But that's a song that I'm really happy I made, because I think it's one that, you know, a lot of people in kind of my age range or just in a similar situation can kind of connect to and see themselves in. And you know, I hope that it's also maybe an inspiration for some people to realize like, nah, we can do this. Like let's keep going. Let's keep the dream alive, basically. So yeah, that's a song that I love a lot. Somewhere. You know, when I looked outside this morning, it just seemed like the sun was shining a little brighter. The trees had a little more green in them, and it just got me thinking.